Hey friends, it's Michael Golzmane here, and I'm creating this video especially for people who are finding themselves at my website, clearingconnect.com, with questions and challenges around money seeming to be blocked or in short supply, limited somehow in their life. Now, this may be a recent occurrence for some people, or it may be that despite your best efforts throughout your entire life, money has been very difficult for you to come by. And so I want to give you, in my experience personally, and also in my work with many thousands of clients, my perspective on what can be going on from a soul perspective on this issue of money manifestation. Now, many people try when they get onto a spiritual path or when they get onto a path of personal development, they try using a lot of books and techniques to manifest money in their lives. And sometimes these are effective and sometimes they're not. I want to give you a little bit of a larger scenario around why you may be feeling that some of these techniques, for instance, affirmation, law of attraction, creative visualization, writing goals, these kinds of things may not always work for you. The way I look at life is that there's really two things happening for all of us at any given time. If I had to break it down from a soul perspective, one is that right where you are in this moment, right where I am, we are each and together the infinite perfection of the divine. We are made in the image and likeness of pure spirit. You can call that God. You could call it source energy. You could call it consciousness, depending on your spiritual or religious background. There is a perfection that is already within you. There is a fullness. This quality, this perfection is already there as your own fundamental being. And this fundamental being, which some call God or Source, has within it all potential. It has within it the quality of being both the source and the fulfillment of everything good in life, whether this is health or money, or career, emotional and mental wellness, a sense of purpose in life. All of these things are related to each other. We don't have simply just one area of our consciousness that is the money area. Everything in our life and in our past and present experience that we're continuing to give energy to now relates to everything in our life. All of our consciousness relates to health, relates to money, relates to career. So there's this perfection right where you are and as the truth of your life right now. Now, there's a second factor. Remember I said there's two things going on. The second factor is all of the beliefs and ways in which you have identified yourself or reacted to life circumstances over the course of your entire soul's history. So this is basically the mind. The mind also combined with emotion. We experience things in life, they don't always feel like they're super positive. And it's not the circumstances that make the individual, but it's what we believe or think or charge with energy about the circumstances that creates the kind of long-term effects in our consciousness that we can be holding on to even now. If we strongly energized something, say it was anger or fear or resentment or anxiety yesterday or a year ago or 20 years ago, or in this type of spiritual clearing work, 20 lifetimes ago. Remember, our soul's history is very long. It's not just beginning with birth in this lifetime. It's not just beginning even with conception. We've come in with something. We come in with a lot of stuff. And we're bringing in what has been resolved or what has been unresolved in our soul's history into this life. So our perceptions, our beliefs, what we charge especially strongly with energy. Remember, even in a situation where we are being threatened by a circumstance or by a worry or by a person, it is not the circumstance or the person that can make us be or feel or do anything. It is our own consciousness from the perspective where we are at the moment that is creating reactionary energy or not. So there's this perfection of spirit within you, and then there's also the accumulated reactionary energy accumulated throughout your entire soul's history. All of that which you've accumulated but never resolved is still active with you now, whether you consciously are aware of it or not. And the way that you know that there's some what we call programming, this is what I refer to as soul programming, the way that you know that there's some of this going on within your being is that you can see it in your results. The results of how you feel, the results of how you think. Are you at peace most of the time? Are you feeling in harmony with life? Are you feeling in the flow of life? Are you feeling and seeing all of your needs met in every possible area of life? Are you in flow with receiving and opening to inspiration in your times of quietness, in your times of opening to the presence within you? Are you finding that you're getting inspiration and immediately taking it into effortless action and immediately seeing good showing up in your life as a result? Fulfillment, service work, feeling that all of your needs are abundantly met without strain or struggle. For most of us, we've either been at a point in our lives in the past where none of that seemed to be happening, where everything was strain, everything was struggle, everything was difficulty, or we're at a point now where that's happening to some extent or completely in our lives, or we've been at that point for as long as we can remember and we don't know what to do about it. Let me bring you back for a moment to remembering there's two things going on within you. There's the perfection of spirit, but there's also who we believe we are and who we believed that we were based on this reactionary programming brought in often through many lifetimes. And we call this the subconscious. Psychologists today also tell us that largely what we really think, what we really act from, what we really believe is 95% coming from the subconscious. It's not coming from something that we even consciously are thinking about now. It's coming from all the stuff that we've accumulated throughout time. Psychologists tell us, okay, that can happen since birth, but in my work, I find that birth is not the origin, that we can go back even into thousands of different lifetimes. So let's get back to this topic of money right now. Money to me is a relative statement of how free we feel and how much in the flow of life we really feel. Usually if there's issues around money that someone is experiencing, they are feeling out of the flow in some way. They're feeling like they can't be in the flow of feeling good. They feel like they're not in the flow of being able to think and feel in ways that are really helpful to them all the time. So there might be these subconscious mental emotional programs that are blocking their ability to feel the flow of that beautiful divine presence within them. They are often also out of the flow of maybe having identified their true divine giftedness and perhaps their way to be able to share that with others. If we've seen movies like The Secret, or we've gotten really into the law of attraction, sometimes there are principles within those philosophies that are very powerful. Sometimes we can get into a feeling of like, I can just visualize the good that I'm looking for, and it's going to show up without me having to do anything else. This is a very limited view of the law of attraction, and what I would say really the law of radiance, and that our own consciousness is what is outpicturing into the world of our physical reality and our manifest reality. What we are in rapport with inside us, if we're in the flow mentally, emotionally, if we're in the flow of feeling our connection to that consciousness, that radiant consciousness within us, that flow of spirit, that true divine reality in our being, then that begins to manifest in our external world. So getting back to this idea of law of attraction and back into the idea of how do we receive money? Well, one of the main key factors that really all spiritual paths tell us is that we have to be in service to life itself and to others, and in order to be able to see our needs being met. This is what Ralph Waldo Emerson called the law of compensation. He said, what you want to bring into you has to go out from you also. There can't be just receiving. You can't just receive money. The universe doesn't work that way. It doesn't work with just a one direction. The universe works in flow, much like breathing. You can't just inhale, you would die. You have to inhale and you have to exhale. So usually when there's money blockages, the person has also either not identified or come into a heartfelt acceptance and rapport with their unique service gift to the world. There may be many gifts an individual has. This is not exactly the same thing as saying career. A career is a form of expression of your divine gifts, but your divine giftedness is beyond simply a job. But it may be represented by your unique work and how you spend your time throughout your day. People have usually not come into full rapport with that, or they may feel blocked in how can I share? Or do I have a heart that's open to sharing of my gifts with as many others? Do I have a heart that's oriented towards being so concerned with helping people that I cannot help but have my financial needs met abundantly? I understand my value. I understand that I need to charge for my work. I'm not trying to pretend that money is evil, money is bad. Many people are running these beliefs at a subconscious level also. We've cleared all that out of the way, and we're in harmonization with our unique gifts. We have the welfare of other people so at the forefront of our mind. How can I serve? How may I share my gifts for the betterment of all humanity? Whatever your gifts are, your gift could be a unique craft that you make. You could be a painter. You could be a cab driver. You could be a doctor. You could be a lawyer. You could be a cafeteria worker. It doesn't really matter what the specific focus is, as long as it is coherent and resonant for you with the deepest part of your inspiration. So you see how there's not just this issue of money karma. Let's just clear money karma. Well, it's the totality of your consciousness, but specifically I find that money relates to our feeling of flow. Are we in the flow of life? Are we giving our gifts to life? Are we open to receiving? This is a big issue we all have to deal with, giving and receiving. It's like if we were inhaling or exhaling and one of those motions was partially blocked, we wouldn't feel very healthy. So we have to be open to receiving, understanding our value, receiving money and good of all forms from clients, from customers, from the people who we serve, and beyond. And it all begins, though, by having a heart that's open to giving, to understanding what am I here to give, getting out of our own ways, recognizing that we are uniquely gifted. When we are inspired, when we're in that state of inspiration, we are accessing that truth about us, that divine intelligence within us that is beyond the level of simply our soul programming. And we are functioning from that higher state of consciousness, and we can begin to feel and see in our manifest reality the type of qualities that higher consciousness can bring to us. And that includes, as I said earlier, all needs met, money flowing, feeling fulfilled internally, seeing the fulfillment happen externally, seeing you being supplied in every good way in life. This is the psychology, the beginning of the psychology of how to release blocks to money. Now, in this work that I facilitate, we delve into the subconscious. Another word for that is your Akashic records or your karmic database, because we see the results of our subconscious outpicturing or taking form in our experiences of life now. However, we often don't remember. It's subconscious. We don't remember creating tons of anger, fear, anxiety, resentment, holding on to issues, blocking forgiveness, taking vows of poverty, which many of us did throughout many religious lifetimes, believing and being taught that you can't have God and money, or you can't have a spiritual path that is abundant. Many of us, especially watching this video, hold a lot of those beliefs and vows that we've taken throughout many, many lifetimes. So we have to begin to clear that. We have to begin to resolve that. And when that gets resolved progressively over time, we begin to feel, it's not so much, again, that Money blocks are being cleared, and now this being in the sky called God, who's been withholding good from you, is now says, "Oh, you know what? That Michael down there. Now I'm choosing today to give him some good." Remember, the imprint of divine ultimate reality, of spirit, of consciousness itself, is the truth of your being. This clearing work is all about setting that free. It's all about resolving all the other stuff in our being so that we can come into greater freedom, greater alignment, greater openness, greater rapport with our unique gifts, and share them in a free way and be open to receiving in a free way. This takes time because we have lived thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of lifetimes, and a lot of these we have created incredibly victim-oriented, separation-based programming. This programming is our karma. Our karma is not a punishment. It's not been assigned to us by someone. It's not been given to us by God or anything like that. We have created it. And we created it, though, erroneously. We created it unconsciously. We didn't know what we were doing. Most people who are reacting to life in a way that says, "Oh, I'm the victim of this person, I'm the victim of all these circumstances, why is this happening to me?" That's all victim consciousness. They're not aware of what they're doing. They're not aware that they're just programming their own consciousness to be even more limited in the future. This clearing work, this process of being able to unwind our own issues spiritually and at every level of our being so that we can manifest more money, is about completely releasing, resolving, and clearing our total consciousness so that we can come into this beautiful rapport back into the feeling of oneness with spirit. We are already one with spirit. We are already one with the energy that created us, the energy of source. We are already one with the power that is the source and the substance, the fulfillment of all good in our lives. But we don't feel it all the time. We don't realize it because we've accumulated all of this programming that we ourselves have created, mostly out of victim-based reactionary energy to life. Oh, why is this happening to me? Oh, poor me. I can't do anything about my situation. This person thought this about me, therefore I can't do it anymore. The belief that life itself or other people are causing your reality is the definition of victim consciousness. And this work is all about de-investing ourselves from all forms of victim consciousness and coming back, not to blaming ourselves. We're not saying, "Hey, that guy in that video told me don't blame other people, but now I'm going to blame myself for why I'm having challenges." No, blame is completely inappropriate at all times for all reasons. I'm not encouraging you to take blame. I'm saying that you are the cause of your reality in life. And the part of you that is unresolved from the past is continuing to cause problems, challenges, limitations in your experiences now. The answer is not to blame. The answer is to take responsibility and to say, you know what, we need to use methods that help us to dive in to the subconscious and resolve quickly, easily, moving through all sorts of soul-based issues that we've accumulated over the course of our lifetime. What this does is it helps us to resolve all of those issues, those beliefs that we took on, where we believed we were angry, we believed we were victimized, we believed that life was punishing us, we held on to grudges on people who had hurt us in the past rather than forgiving them. All of that is accumulated. So there's no way around this issue. We have to resolve our karma, resolve our database, and we can do it through the power of clearing work because the divine offers tremendous, tremendous grace to each of us at all times and is willing to work with us as quickly and as easily as we are willing to let go of our old programming. It does not have to be difficult. We can release and we can clear much, much more quickly than we ever accumulated this programming. So to bring this back to a conclusion of this video, I want to say that you are really the answer. You are the answer to any money challenges that you are having. The answer and the solution is for you to get back into the flow, back into the rapport with life, to completely release, let go of everything that you might be holding on to that is a form of limitation to you, so that you can come into a place of greater flow, greater coherence, greater alignment with all of life. And I'd love to be able to help you do that. If you want to read more on my website, clearingconnect.com, I would really encourage you to check me out further. Please feel free to send me a message if you'd like, or sign up for a clearing to be able to experience this work for yourself. I hope this video has been helpful for you, friends. Look forward to hearing from you. Please know that you are loved, you are blessed in every way. It's just a matter of letting it in, getting out of the way, getting back into the flow, and letting it in. Till next time, friends, peace and blessings to you. Bye-bye.